So the next form you're going to see is the emergency per room form, and that will allow you to choose what happened to a particular room during an emergency. This type of form, it would be used when you have 3 or 4 or 5 rooms, not for large losses. We offer the macro page for doing the emergency on large losses, which we'll get to in a little bit. So let's say, for example, you had a loss in a basement, and we'll just use the bedroom as an example. You'll notice that virtually every room that is in a house is listed here, so there's very little typing to do. You simply just pick from the drop-down menu and away you go. In this room, let's assume we did some extraction and we extracted 100% of the floor, and let's say we did it after business hours. And we did the same thing with the power wash, and we did that after hours, and we also applied antimicrobial over the whole floor, and that was during after hours as well. Take a moment here if I can and just show you that these question marks here are very, very important. They give you a guideline as to what actually needs to happen in those particular situations. So for example, if you click on this question mark, it'll actually tell you what the definitions for affected and remove are, so that if you're looking at how things work or what you should be putting in for what you did, it lists it right here for you so there's no confusion. In addition, we also have this form here that gives you a cheat sheet about the percentages, and it tells you, for example, that 12.5% of a 1 foot wall, or 1 foot cut on all walls is what 12.5% of the entire room is. Or if you took out 4 foot cuts on 3 walls, this is what the percentage works out to. And you'll notice as we move into the materials, it does it automatically populated for you. So for example, in the insulation, let's assume we removed and affected it, or sorry, it was affected and removed, pardon me, and you took it out at 2 foot cuts around the whole room. So what that would be is it'd be 25%. All right, and so we know that 25% of the drywall or the insulation was removed. Let's do the same thing for the drywall, and again it was 25%. But let's say you didn't actually remove it at 25%. Let's say you affected and removed it, and it was only 2 of the 4 walls that we did at 2 feet. Well, I don't know what that percentage is, so we'll have to figure that out. So we can pop into here, and it clearly states that we did 2 foot cut wall, or excuse me, 2 foot cuts for 2 walls. So that actually would be 12.5%. And you'll notice that those percentages are at the very top here for you to choose from, so you don't have to scroll through the entire list to find them. They're right there at the ready for you to do. And as you go, you could just continue on selecting what was affected or not. Let's assume the carpet pad was affected, and we removed it, and we did 100% of the room. Let's say the carpet was just affected but not removed because you're going to clean it. So we just put affected at 100%. That way we know that it was affected but not removed and it needs to be cleaned. Or let's assume that you had flooring that was affected but not removed because it was hardwood floor and you didn't want to get at it. You just list it in there. And then you move down to things like casings. If you removed casings off of a door or a window, affected and removed. And again, we have the drop downs for a 17 obviously is a standard for one side of a door, 34 is another standard lineal feet for the door, and you sort of go on. It's really good if you can sort of play with this a little bit, because once you get the habit of doing it, it becomes super, super easy. You can probably get this form done pretty much right away without any hassle once you've got the go of it. And if you needed to add another room, you simply go in and select other room or add room. And we click on add room, and then you go on to the second room, so we could go and do basement, and let's say it's a bathroom this time. And then you go through and do what you need to do in terms of materials. Now you'll notice in here that there isn't a big list of everything that you need to add. It's just the basics. We don't need to know about a toilet or removing a toe kick, or excuse me, a toilet, or a, you know, you're going to be painting walls or that. We can figure that all out based on your photos and based on what we know generally happens in these sort of situations. Once you've added the rooms, again, you can add as many as you want. And Once you're done, if there's any weird notes or anything that's going on with that, you type them in here. And then you click next and move on to the next page.